Recording in progress.
All right, good morning, guys. Good morning. Let me just make sure you guys can hear me all good. Make sure you guys can see me. Where are we? All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome back. Happy Tuesday, guys. Happy Tuesday, everyone. Let me just get the chat over here. Good morning, guys. Welcome back. Welcome back, everyone. Hope everyone had a good day in the markets yesterday. Gold ended up having a nice little sell-off that is kind of pretty much what we wanted. But yeah, it unfortunately just took its time. So personally, I didn't take any trades yesterday, guys. Didn't take a single trade yesterday. I liked the gold sells, but there just wasn't really an opportunity for me to actually want to get in and sell that. So I was happy to not take anything yesterday. Let me see here, guys. Protect the capital, absolutely. Good morning, everyone. Audio and video good, awesome. Thank you, man. So welcome, everyone. If any of you guys are new here, welcome. My name is Aaron, also known as Aaron Trades. Been trading for the past 7 years and mainly focus on gold futures here in the European session. So we'll break down gold, guys. We'll have a look at NQ, see what NQ got up to yesterday. You guys who are trading Asia today, there were some very nice shorts, which kind of broke out here. Nice sells down here in Asia at like 5 o'clock London time. Nice 160 tick sell-off back down into these nice liquidity lows and back down into this 4,200 level, which is kind of pretty much what we spoke about. Yeah, the chart looks really grey. I know. I don't know why. My screen is really grey today. I'm like trying to turn up the brightness, but the brightness is all the way up. Yeah, there's like something has happened to this display. Let me just see if I can. I'm going to see if I can move the screens around and see if this helps a little bit. See, I think this will be better, but it's just very hard for me to see the screen from here. I don't know why. Any of you guys who are... let me move this down. Any of you guys who are good with the old tech might know, but yeah, my main display on my computer is very, very dull. Let me just fix this, guys. Yeah, it's better. I just need to kind of fit it in because this screen is much smaller. It's going to be hard to do the analysis on this one, but let me see. Give me 2 seconds, guys. Let me see if I can fix this. Where are we? How can I make this a little bit smaller? Give me 2 seconds, guys. I'll just see if I can fix this. Because, yeah, I don't know why my main screen was very, very, very grey and dull today. Even for me, I could hardly even see the charts. So let me just see if I can fix this. It's going to be hard for me to do the analysis on this because it's going to be much smaller for me because I'm trying to stretch it here. But let me just see if I can. Let me see if I can fix this, guys. All right, I think that should do. I think that should be fine. Let me see. Time to purchase your laptop. No, I know this. I literally just got this one. Yeah, I literally just got this one. I somehow stupidly dropped it that day, and for some reason, it's made the display go great. But it's for me, it looks fine. It's just streaming for some reason, which doesn't really make sense. So. Yeah, it's something to do with Windows. I literally dropped it one day, and the screen's just gone like dull. But for me, it looks absolutely fine. But when it goes on stream, it looks really dull. It's really, really strange. Let me just see if I can. Sorry, guys. Let me see if I can make this a little bit bigger, just because it's really small for me to do analysis on here. 2 seconds, guys. Give me 2 seconds. So, if I can make this a little bit smaller here, I'm just gonna see if I can just stretch this a little bit, guys. Where are we? All right, I think that should do. I think that should do. All right, I can pretty much see it now. So I'll be looking at a different screen, but that should be fine. Yeah, if any of you computer wizard guys do know any help on that, would be really appreciated. It doesn't really make sense, but yeah, I did drop it one time. Literally a tiny drop, and for some reason it's made my main Windows display go a little bit grey, which for some reason makes it also go grey on the stream. All right, let's have a look here, guys. So, you guys in Zoom can see it all fine, right? Have you tried dropping it again? Yeah, maybe try putting it in rice or something. Dropping it again might refix it. Let's have a look here, guys. See what we got for the day on gold. So, we did have this decent sell-off on gold yesterday. Like I say, you know, I like the shorts on gold, but the reason I didn't take the shorts is just because you pretty much ranged for the whole entire day on gold. You were range bound on gold from pretty much market open at 11 o'clock all the way until like 2-3 o'clock, right until that New York session. So yeah, I like the short stance into this liquidity level. By the time you actually broke out here, there wasn't really anything that worthwhile me taking a short here. So personally, I did sit it out. You kind of pulled back here and Adrian continued selling off. So let's have a look at this daily time frame right now. And that was kind of what we spoke about yesterday. Is we spoke about gold needing to come down and at least tap into Friday's low. At least come down into Friday's low, because Friday, you know, you grabbed highs, you closed aggressively bearish. So coming down into that low. Coming down into that low was a pretty decent trade. Yeah, you guys on Zoom can hear me all fine, right? Yeah. And you ended up coming down much lower. You came all the way back down into these lows from last week as well. But again, you know, look at Friday's candle closure. This is the reason that I wasn't overly keen on trying to buy gold yesterday. The reason I wasn't overly keen to trying to buy gold yesterday is for the simple fact that on Friday, you wicked major highs, had a huge liquidity grab, and had an aggressive sell-off. So I kind of wanted to be following that, which ended up being a pretty decent short. Now, with the way that yesterday's candle did close, it didn't really show us that much. You can... Oh, what, full screen here? Wait, like here? I think it no, it messes it up on a... It messes it up on the stream, unfortunately. It takes it over my 2 big displays, but as long as you guys can see it, it should be fine. So it's not too bad for me. So yeah, Monday didn't really close showing us that much. The only thing we kind of can see here on gold is 4,200 is a very, very, very big level of support. Huge level of support. Now I do believe we're still going to come down and liquidate these lows from the 2nd of December, which I think is last Tuesday. Yeah, last Tuesday. I do still believe gold's going to squeeze out these lows. But with that being said, you know, we do have major news this week. We do have FOMC on Wednesday. So could we maybe find some support from here before coming down and grabbing them lows? Well, let's have a look, see what this lower time frame is telling us. 4 hour, grab the highs. Decent bit of a sell-off here on gold. So gold is intraday pretty bearish right now. You can kind of see this pre-London candle did tag some lows, held this 4200 and actually closed bullish. But again, do you want to be buying gold right now? Well, look what you're buying gold into. You're buying gold into support. Not only that, as if gold re-breaks back into this range, well, that's where price can get extremely ugly. This is your no trade range. So buys on gold. There's not really any levels of interest where I would want to be a buyer on gold, because I certainly wouldn't want to buy gold and get trapped back in this range that we were in from 5 o'clock yesterday all the way until 5 o'clock here this morning. So 12 hours. 12 hours we were stuck in this range. So ideally, we would look to continue selling gold. Ideally. Not to say we can't pull back, but if we do pull back, that just simply won't be my trade, because I still have further downside targets, and this is a pretty decent breakout here towards the end of the Asian session that we would like to be following. So we'll see what the London Open gives us for gold, and we'll see if we can continue selling it. It's a bit weird looking at my charts like this. If something doesn't feel right looking all the way up here, but my screen today on this computer is extremely dull. And yeah, we'll have a look at NQ as well. Major resistance. Which time frame, man? Which time frame? You kind of got gold at higher time frame support. This is the thing with gold. You got gold trapped in between 4200 and 4250. Two big, massive levels. Massive support, massive resistance. On the hourly, yeah, you got big support at 4200. You got big resistance at 4211-ish. With big news. I think there was some news today. Yeah, you got US job openings today as well. And then tomorrow you have FOMC day. Try reinstalling your... There you go. Nice one, Ian. Reinstall your GPU drivers. Okay, cool. Yeah. Yeah, it literally was like the tiniest of drops, and then for some reason when I turned it back on, it was like the screen was grey. So reinstall... Okay. Reinstall... I'll do that after, man. Reinstall. I feel like it could probably be a pretty easy fix. This laptop was expensive, so I'm not going to go buy a new laptop. But I do need it fixed, because it's a little bit annoying. But it works completely fine on an external monitor. I guess that would make sense as to why it comes through on the stream if it's grey. Because like if there was a crack on the screen, you know, the crack wouldn't show up on stream that there's a crack in the screen. But for some reason, when it's dull, it's making the whole, everything on that, even screen recording, go really dull. Yeah, it happened like 2 weeks ago or so, but for some reason today I turned it on and it was like even more dull. Yeah, put it in rice or something. Two red week in a row, blown one account. Don't really know if I'm not staying consistent or just looking for P&L. I mean, look at the daily time. Look at the daily bias last week. Yes, last week was not a week to go too crazy. Look at there's no real daily direction here on gold. You had this great breakout previous weeks, but then last week you did absolutely nothing on gold. So patience was massively required last week on gold. Pretty similar to where we are now, to be honest. You might be able to find intraday scalps within this, but if you're looking for the quality, consistent setups, there hasn't been the best recently on gold. Like I say, I didn't trade yesterday. Oh, wait there. HDR enabled for that screen. I'm not too sure, to be honest. It's really weird. Like if I was to move this Topstep screen right now back to my other screen, it would end up making it dull again. It's really strange. I've never really seen it before. Anything I put on my, so what you guys are seeing right here, this is coming through my portable monitor, which works absolutely fine. But if I put it on my main laptop display, it will make it really grey. But it's just weird that it happened when I dropped the laptop. That's why there must have been something that got broken. It doesn't really make sense. So we've got London Open in like 12 minutes here as well, guys. Let's have a look at NQ. How did NQ close yesterday? NQ, bit indecisive yesterday on NQ. HDMI cable? No, because it's like the actual portable monitor screen, which you can see here, works perfectly. It's just the actual main display on my laptop, which makes it everything grey for some reason. Yeah, literally could be anything. Yeah, that's also it doesn't really make sense that I dropped it. The main display went grey, but the other screens work completely fine. You know, like that's what I'm saying. That's why I think it must be some sort of chip. Because if I cracked my laptop screen right now, you know, the crack wouldn't come up on the stream. You know what I'm saying? That's why it doesn't really make any sense. It's very weird. Yeah, I'm gonna have to try and find some computer wizard near me somewhere. So yeah, possible because something came loose inside. Yeah, I think so as well, man. I think so. So NQ closed pretty indecisive yesterday. Interesting thing about NQ is you came down, tagged previous daily lows, but what did you not do? Didn't actually re-grab the highs. So to me, there would still be some pretty upside, decent levels on NQ. Remember, we had these nice targets on NQ back from the 5th of November. Again, you know, with FOMC on Wednesday, it could take until then. Yeah, changing the brightness, and the brightness like goes up and down, but when it's all the way up, it still looks really dull. Like I can turn it up and down, but when I put the brightness on the max, it still looks pretty dull. And for some reason, when I turned it on today, it's even more dull. But again, you know, that's what doesn't really make sense. Like if I turn the brightness down on my screen, it's not going to make the stream brightness go down. You know what I mean? That's why it's so confusing. It's really strange. It doesn't really make sense. Yeah, I have to take some computer wizard. I'm not very good with Windows computers. Yeah, it's an actual screen setting, yeah. But it's like, it's a setting that it's like picking up on the whole computer. That's why I think it must be some sort of chip or something. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. So NQ, I do still think is bullish here. You know, that closure yesterday. Yes, I did. I changed from Mac just because this is much better for trading and streaming. My Mac couldn't really handle it as much. I still have my Mac, but the portable monitor that I have also doesn't really work well on Mac. You can't split it into two screens. So the portable screen works better on the Macs. And yeah, it's just much better for streaming. I've always been an Apple fanboy, but recently I did switch to a Windows PC, and I do prefer it actually. I do prefer it. I have my Mac as well, but yeah, I do prefer the Windows. So NQ, I would say we are still bullish, guys. I would still continue to look for longs on NQ. Even an intraday pullback into 25,750 looks like a pretty decent trade. It actually kind of looks nicer than gold right now. I'm not going to start trading NQ just for the sake of it, but NQ did just hold some support. You've just had a nice hourly fake out there as well. Look at that hourly fake out. You close below, you've reclosed back above. So this isn't a bad idea to see NQ continue to push back up into some Asia highs. Look at this nice liquidity grab yesterday. Came down, hit previous daily lows, closed all the way back above, pulled back, and I would like NQ to continue squeezing. If you guys do trade NQ, to be honest, I think NQ is looking nicer than gold. That's a pretty decent hourly fake out there. 25,750 looks like a nice level. I'll be live on Fast Markets today as well, guys, if you guys are around. I think it's going to be a bit of a difficult couple of days on gold leading up to FOMC, but we'll see what we get. Like I said, I didn't take any trades yesterday on gold. I didn't take any trades yesterday. I saw the shorts, and I was tempted to take the shorts, but I kind of said to myself, would I be annoyed if I took this short and it continues to... I think I saw shorts like around here. I was like, would I be more annoyed if I take this short and it continues to range than happy I would be if I took the profit? And my answer was yes. I'd be more annoyed if I take a trade and get stuck in this given how long we've been in this range. So that's why sometimes, you know, you can see great moves in the markets. You know, you might see these nice shorts. But that doesn't mean you have to execute it every single time. And the reason I didn't execute this is because you'd literally been stuck in this messy range all day long. And although I was confident that you were going to see this downside, well, every other time you tried to break out on gold that day, you know, you would have got squeezed out. Here, you would have got squeezed out. So I was like, is there much reason for me to want to short this? I think it was like a 30-minute fake out as well or something. Yeah, it was a 30-minute fake out here. Broke above, broke right back below. So, saw the trade, but I was happy just to sit it out and sit on my hands yesterday. And to be honest, it's still paid because you can come on here today and you can still get some great trades. So we'll see if gold can maybe get a little bit of a pullback of the London Open, and then ideally we look to continue selling this. NQ London Open could give some nice longs as well. Kind of got a little inverse left shoulder. Here's your head. Here's your right shoulder region to see if you can see NQ squeezing higher. Yeah, nice 4-hour morning start. Yep, yeah, looks very nice actually. That's a really nice 4-hour close. 4-hour morning star around a very nice 4-hour fake out level. Aggressively broke below, broke straight back above, which we see a lot on NQ, holding the support. And I think to see this continue pushing up into this resistance actually looks pretty nice. It does, I don't want to say it because we can't cheat on Goldie, but it does look nicer than gold. It does look nicer than gold today. We'll draw up. We'll see if gold doesn't give us something. We'll draw up as if there was a potential trade here, but I will be looking for something on gold. Did anyone catch them shorts yesterday on gold? Any of you guys on Zoom get the short? Anyone gets topped out in some small losses? The short idea made so much sense. Combine trade, yeah, nice. Yeah, it might be a little bit of a NQ combine trade for me. The shorts made a lot of sense yesterday on gold. You know, a lot of people trying to buy here, risking off these lows. You came down and squeezed it out pretty perfectly. Let me see here on gold. See if this breaks out. We've got 5 minutes. Can you look at silver? Yep, absolutely. Locked out. 250 across my accounts. Nice. Nice, 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 nice. 250 across the accounts is good, man. On a day like yesterday, that's very good. Yeah, we can have a look at silver. Absolutely. Silver might be looking nicer than gold. Let's have a look. So, silver yesterday, we said don't trade because of this exact range, which you can see patience again on silver would have paid yesterday. Remember, guys, we do have FOMC on Wednesday. Look at this price action. This is the 4-hour time frame on silver. Daily time frame. The only thing that's nice here on silver is that daily fake out. You broke below, you broke right back above, and you're trying to hold it as support. It's the only thing that looks nice here on silver. Whenever you see the 4-hour looking like this, you know, if your higher time frame is looking like this on these markets, the lower time frame is going to be looking even worse, and it almost just gets you trapped into too many positions. So you have big 4-hour support, big 4-hour resistance, big 4-hour support here on silver. And again, like I say, this is the 4-hour time frame. 4-hour is in an aggressive range. So you look at the hourly time frame, kind of looks just as noisy. Interesting thing is here, you didn't re-grab the highs. So if I get rid of this resistance, because I think you could hit that again, but look what you did do. You did grab the lows. So you've grabbed the downside liquidity levels on silver. However, you haven't quite yet grabbed the highs. So therefore, I would say longs would make the most sense. Again, though, it's one of them trades where I would be very surprised if you look to buy this current hour and it just pushes up. It will be one of them trades where I would imagine it's probably going to take a decent amount of time to play out. So I would, if you do look for these silver longs, I would be looking to take this trade and manage it based off hourly candle closures. You can maybe hold this all the way until the New York session, for example. But silver to come back up into this 59 region and liquidate these previous highs looks nice. Also based off the fact that you had that huge daily fake out, big daily support. You had a nice intraday liquidity grab to the downside, haven't yet grabbed the highs. So I would say, again, it doesn't have to happen right away, but silver to continue pushing up into here looks pretty nice. The reason I'm not dropping down any lower than the hourly right now is just because of how choppy the higher time frame is. That the lower you drop down, the more confusing the price action can be. And when gold and NQ and silver are in these big ranges, it's almost impossible to read lower time frame price action. It's too unreliable. So I'd be focusing on, as long as this hourly holds above this support level, which is about 58.3-ish, silver longs look good. I do like that silver trade. I think NQ so far is looking the nicest, but silver does look good there as well. I just use these, just this rectangle tool here, man. Just use this rectangle tool just to draw on the zones. Sometimes, sometimes you can do the support and resistance levels with just the horizontal lines, but sometimes when it's as messy as some of the markets are looking right now, I just kind of like to, just do it like this, just to make it a little bit wider. And then the liquidity levels are the trend lines. So these are the trend lines, and these are the rectangles. Let's have a look. We've got London open in 2 minutes here, guys. You may get a bit of a potential liquidity wick on gold before you do see this push. Sorry, NQ. But NQ longs do look good. Good morning, Aaron. Good morning, man. Maybe pretty straightforward, but how do you go about setting your alerts? I use all my alerts on TradingView, man. My TradingView is full of alerts. I use it for my stock alerts. I use it for my day trading alerts. I do all my alerts on TradingView, and then whenever my alerts do go off, or whenever I get a higher time frame candle closure of interest, then that's when I'll drop down to my Topstep chart. Hopefully, Topstep do get alerts here built into TopstepX, which I'm sure they probably will. But right now, I do all of my alerts on TradingView. I have a lot of I pretty much always have some sort of alert on TradingView, whether it's stocks or it's gold. I utilize alerts as much as I can to not have to sit there and watch price throughout the day, because that's the thing when trading London. I love trading London. We get great trades, but it does require more patience than trading the New York session. So rather than sitting there watching it, chop around for too long, kind of like you did yesterday, it's almost like, set your alerts at the lows of the support, lows of the range, highs of the range, and just, walk away until your alerts go off. Save yourself that chart time. Well, one thing I do as well is, if I don't have alerts set for whatever reason, I'll just look at higher time frame candle closures. I'll wait for the higher time frame candle to break out, confirm something, and then I'll look to take my trade. Yesterday was brutal. Yes, yesterday was crazy, man. Nice being able to easily identify no trade day. Yeah, exactly. Yep, that's the thing. Yesterday was a very, very, very tough day. But, when you can see the markets from that neutral perspective and you're not emotional, always trying to look for positions, it's also very easy just to walk away on these days. The reason I can happily walk away on these days is because I have that much confidence in my plan that if I don't get a trade here today, that's fine. I'll get a trade tomorrow, or I'll get a trade the day after that. And not being in a position 24/7 and the constant feeling of FOMO, it's very easy to remove FOMO. When we know our plan comes up multiple times a day, if we don't get a trade in this range yesterday, that's fine. The markets are going absolutely nowhere. We'll still get a trade this week. We'll still get a trade tomorrow, the day after that. So I would share with you guys my stats that you don't need to be in positions constantly. We've got London open here, guys. Let's have a look at this hourly candle closure. So bit of a doji candle here on gold at this pre-London candle. You kind of grabbed highs, closed pretty doji. Instant top wick here, making me think gold might find some resistance and potentially have a bit of a pullback. That's an instant top wick there on gold. NQ, how do you close in the hourly? Again, instant top wick makes me think you might pull back a little bit before seeing the longs. So I would look for potential shorts on gold, maybe above that previous hourly high. There could be a potential short here. You've got a bit of a trend line coming up as well. If you can wick out some highs here and hold some resistance, I would like to short gold above this high. There's also no bottom wick on this current hourly, which is a nice target. What concepts do I use? I use a lot of liquidity. Liquidity and price action, and just trading gold. Do you have any recommendations for tracking statistics in the live account since we don't have a statistic dashboard? Yeah, there's lots of different platforms you can use. You can go into all your trades here on Topstep, and you can just export them all right here. So you can export all of your trades, and then you can pretty much put them into whichever platform that you like, which I do as well. Let's see if I can show you guys some of mine. I don't think I've transferred them over yet, but there's different loads of different platforms that you can use. But the good thing about Project X is you can literally just export all of your trades and pretty much put them whenever you want. I personally just stick to this. I just stick to using this personally. I think NQ is setting up to take Asia highs. Yeah, I like yep, I like that. I like the longs on NQ. NQ longs are looking really good. Back up into 25,750. The only thing is with NQ, because you had this nice hourly fake out, it's also a very nice 4-hour morning star play after a huge 4-hour fake out, big daily support. The only thing with NQ longs is, you know, you kind of already want to be in from like around this area. You wouldn't want to be buying here. So you'd need to see a little bit of a pullback. Unless you're already in the NQ longs, fantastic. You know, from maybe anywhere at this support, great. You can see if you can squeeze this up into these two liquidity levels here. Like I said, I do believe NQ is looking much nicer than gold today, actually. I don't really trade NQ, but NQ is looking, yeah, NQ is looking long. I think looking nice. I think you'd get a lot of people probably trapped in these shorts here in NQ doing something like this. Yeah, they do. Yeah, that's the thing. Sometimes they can be correlating, and sometimes they can be just completely opposite, or sometimes they can just move together. There's not enough correlation between gold and NQ that I'd say it's anything really worth watching and trying to take trades off. Whereas fast markets is here on the Topstep YouTube channel, man, for the New York session. We'll be trading the New York Open. We'll be trading the New York Open. Let's see how gold's going to react to these highs, guys. It's a pretty decent squeeze here. No bottom wick on this current hourly. If you are long NQ, yeah, I'd be looking to manage around this high, but to be honest, I'd be trying to target them Asia highs. I think that Asia high is a nice target. I remember, guys, we do have big news this week. We have JOLTS job openings today at 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock London time, and then tomorrow is the big FOMC day. Yeah, no, it's crazy. Yeah, averaging, yeah, literally 100 ticks easy. I know that's the thing. Gold has been moving pretty crazy. How much is this up already? Almost up like 100 ticks, which is huge, absolutely huge. So we'll see if gold can find some resistance around here. The reason I want to see some resistance to go short is because there's no bottom wick on this hourly time frame. There's no bottom wick on this hourly time frame. You're also coming into some nice resistance. You're also tagging previous hourly highs. Well, we want to be selling above these hourly highs, not buying. So let's see. Do I use round numbers? Yes, absolutely. For gold, the round psychological levels are very, very, very important. These are my round levels here. Like the 4100s, the 4150s, 4200, 4250, 4300. You can see how well they get respected on gold. These psychological levels in the higher time frame are very, very, very important. So the reason, you know, gold's at a big, interesting level is not only is it massive support, 4200 is a huge, huge, huge psychological level. So yeah, absolutely. Very, very, very important. If gold breaks out here, guys, there may be a potential risky short. I say risky because you're going against the current push up, but it could be worth a shot. Let me see. Let's go micros. 15, look at that 15 almost coming back down. Kind of want to see a 5-minute breakout before you create that bottom wick. So that's kind of what we're talking about here. Getting short above these previous hourly highs. You came up, you've wicked out them hourly highs, so stopped out any early sellers. And now you're going to see if you can maybe come back down and target some lows. So if we get a 5-minute closure in 3 minutes without creating that bottom wick, fantastic, I'll short. Do you trade platinum? I don't trade platinum, but yeah, we can definitely have a look. We can have a look at platinum. Once we see if we get this gold trade, yeah, we can definitely have a look. Just want to see if we can get this potential London Open gold short here, and then we can absolutely have a look at some other markets for sure. But yeah, I pretty much just trade gold. All of these where were we last month? All of these stats that I show you guys here is 90% gold. 90% of these trades are gold. These are payouts. So you got a. To be fair, this is like, this is a pretty decent stats here. This is not what I aim for. But I have this account up 12.8 thousand, 66% win rate, 4.5 risk to reward, over 50 trades. You can see my average duration, 25 minutes, 20 minutes. Average winning trade, 380, average losing, 83. But again, guys, remember, what the most important part here is I don't trade every single day. I also don't take multiple trades. What buffer do I keep? In this one, what do I have? I have 5.8 thousand here right now. I usually try and keep at least like 2,000. I've taken out over 7,000 from this one. But I try. Anything around 2,000 is good. Anything around 2,000 is good. But again, with this account, the reason I'm showing this to you guys is because I don't aim for them stats. I don't aim to get to up 12,000. I just aim to take good trades, and I focus on quality over quantity. That's it. Getting to the count being up 12,000 is never a goal. Getting to a 60% winner, whatever it was, isn't a goal. I just focus on the charts. And to me, gold the past 2 months has been amazing. So, are these stats normal over a longer period of time? No, I would be happy with way less than that. When does it start the account like here? I would be happy with, no, this is good. I would be happy if this is less, I'd still be profitable. This I definitely don't aim for. I mean, it's just been good because how it's been really nice to read gold recently, but I don't aim for any of these things. I don't aim to get the $150 green days. I don't aim to get to a certain target so I can get a payout. I don't aim to build a certain buffer. All I aim to do is take good trades. NQ still squeezing. Is scalping gold a realistic strategy? Depends how you define scalping. I mean, you can see here on. I mean, can you sit there and scalp gold? Of course. If gold up in the past, 30 minutes is up 80 ticks. That's pretty decent. Oh, nice, Sean. What a guy, living the dream. That's amazing. That is hypertrophy right there. Nice. Yeah, I was hoping this 5 minute could close bearish so we could get short. Kind of closed a little bit doji. It's still not a bad short, to be honest. You could easily fill in this wick. You kind of see that quite a lot here on gold. There's still potential short here. Yeah, me too. But yes, is scalping gold realistic? Definitely, you can scalp gold. Of course. I think there is better ways to trade gold. I have done both. I've swing traded gold, I've day traded gold, and I've scalped gold. My favorite way to trade gold is to day trade gold. And to day trade, I mean hold for 30 minutes hourly candle closures. Gold is very, the higher time frame is very, very, very important on gold. I may see if there's a potential half risk short here on gold. Let me see, on a break of a low or something. Just because you don't have that, you haven't created that bottom wick on the hourly, you're also at big resistance. I say half risk, I would take maybe 2 micros. You're risking maybe $60. Let me see. Is it okay to have multiple goes on the same trade? For example, when you go to break even a few times before catching the real move. Yeah, that's, to be honest, Jake, that's a very good skill to have. It's also what is required sometimes on gold. Sometimes on gold, you can get into a trade, it has the push right away. Sometimes I have to give my trade 2 to 3 chances. That happened to us last week. I think we took 2 small paper cut losses before then we gave it one more chance, and that ended up being the big massive move. So yeah, 100%. It's not, not every time you're going to get in the trade that it's going to have the big move. You absolutely have to be willing to give your trade multiple chances. As long as you're not giving it multiple chances based off emotions and based off what happened on the previous trades. As long as you're still seeing the markets from that neutral perspective, yeah, sometimes you just have to. That's trading. You can cut quick and re-enter. Yeah, exactly. Yep, that's how to go to trades. Yeah, nice. Yep. Absolutely, I do it all the time. I think a good example was last week on gold. I think we were on stream. Where was the longs we took last week? Yeah, here. So we were on stream. You guys who were here last week, you guys can go back and watch. We were talking about gold coming all the way back up into this double top region. We spoke about this in our London stream on the 3rd of December. You guys can go back to the Topstep channel. You can watch this stream. We spoke about this whole entire move here on gold for about, ended up being about 200 plus tick move. And I took it in here. I think I took 2 trades in here. I took very small losses. It didn't work 2 times. But what I don't do is get emotional and start revenge trading because I've taken a loss or because the markets aren't doing exactly what I want right away. Whenever it doesn't work like this, then that's when I zoom out, go back to the higher time frame. And then as soon as I see this nice hourly morning star, get right back in. And this is the one that we shared on Discord as well. It ended up being a great move. Didn't hold it to anywhere near this high, but still made back the loss and ended up the day green. So, yes, absolutely, you do have to. You do have to. It's great when, you get into a trade and it pretty much does just do what you want, but that's not always how the markets move. Sometimes you have to be willing to give your trade. I'll give my trade like maybe 2 to 3 chances max. Whenever I do give my trade a chance and it doesn't work, one thing I will do is yesterday's a great example. Like if you took a trade here yesterday and it didn't work and you kept trading and trading and trading and trading, then you end up just getting chopped up. But one thing I'll do is if I take a trade in here and it doesn't work, I just zoom out. Okay, well, why is it not working? Well, the high time frame, you have support, you have resistance. Okay, cool. Well, let me just wait for a bit of a breakout and then I'll take a trade. So if you do get stopped out of a position and it ends up just going pretty sideways, always be willing to look at your higher time frame candles. Always remember to zoom out. Zoom out and get an understanding of that bigger picture. Because yesterday's a fantastic example where you literally could have got chopped up all day long. But if you actually just waited for a decent hourly candle closure above or below, you would have had a very, very simple trade. And that's why sometimes the lower time frame can be really tough on gold. Yeah, no bottom wick on this hourly, just straight opening and pushing here on gold. Kind of can't chase this right now. Also can't short it, which is also good. NQ long still look good. I think NQ might be the play here for London. Because yeah, I'm happy to give these shorts a try on gold, but I'm not going to sell it for no reason. There's no reason for me to short here. 15 just closed, very bullish. Okay, cool, no shorts. Flight's delayed to Budapest. Oh no, Tom, how long? You're going to have to start trading. Get that airport trading. One micro, yeah, one micro is good, man. I think it was worth a shot, to be honest. I think it was worth a shot. No hourly bottom wick, decent resistance. I think it was worth a shot. Could have given a pretty decent risk to reward. Nice. Good man, Tom. That is 5 o'clock somewhere. Best platform to backtest on? I don't know, really. I mean, it's definitely not TradingView. I used to do a lot of backtesting on TradingView. That is not fun to backtest on. I don't really know of them. There's loads of different ones. Once I used to use a bit of a pain to set up. Yeah, FX replay. That's a pretty good one because you can. The only reason I don't like TradingView is because it just skips the candles across, whereas you actually need to see them play out in real time. Like how the candles are forming in real time is very important. Oh, it's for free. There you go. Yeah, the skipping candles on TradingView just doesn't really work very well. It's not realistic at all. I used to use one called Soft for FX or something, but it's a bit of a mission to set up. I wouldn't really recommend it. But the thing I like is, you want a platform where you can actually take real trades, take partials, drag your stops, watch the candles play out in real time. I think you can pretty much do all of that on FX replay. I am with the gold shorts. I'm looking at the 4 hourly and it's at support, looking for a bounce. Yeah, that's why gold's a little bit tough right now, because I can see the exact same. I can see gold at the support. I can also see gold at the resistance. That's why it's really, really tough here. Yeah, ruin bars. Yeah, nice time. Yeah, they're really cool, man. I went to Budapest a while ago. The ruin bars are really, really cool. Budapest is a cool place. It's I think Budapest is a really popular place for like digital nomad people as well. It's pretty cool. But yeah, it's. I can see what you're saying, Blake. You know, we are at that big support. I agree. To be honest, that's why I can. I mean, unless this hourly just closes bullish, you know, we can go long. The only reason I was looking for some shorts is the fact that this previous hourly wicked the highs and held resistance. So I was looking for. I'm not really looking for shorts right now, but what I was looking for is this. Maybe this hourly comes up, tags the highs, and then we maybe look for a short, and the hourly candle could look something like this. That's kind of what I was. It's not the best of drawings, but that's not a bad drawing. I was kind of looking for something like that. Maybe tag the previous hourly highs and then sell off. Just because I'm just looking for an intraday, a really quick intraday play, because you're back at the resistance, back at support. But yeah, you're absolutely right. You're at daily support, 4 hourly support, but then you do also have 4 hour resistance. So you have daily and 4 hourly support here, but then you have intraday resistance here. So I was just looking for, you know, even just a bit of a intraday short down into here before then seeing the longs. I think would give us like a, you know, maybe a 70 plus tick pullback before then potentially seeing longs. So just for a bit of an intraday scalp. I went a long time ago, to be honest, Tom. I can't. The only thing I do remember is the ruin bars. But there's big like I can't remember what it's called. It's like a massive thing you can go up and looks over the whole river and stuff, which is really cool. But the Christmas markets will be amazing, man. Back at that view app level as well. Oh, that's it. Yeah, the baths. How could I forget the baths? Yeah, the Budapest, the baths. That's, yeah, it's probably the biggest thing they had to do. What's they doing in Budapest? Yeah, just go to the bars. Yeah, the baths is probably the most important thing to do in Budapest. It's pretty cool. Robin, I use these two, man. That's definitely not how you spell interactive, but that's supposed to say interactive. Intercative. So Goldie trying to get above here. Yeah, you get the idea. Trying to get back above. There's a decent little squeeze here. There wasn't really a long hit. I'm kind of looking at this, like, was there a reason to buy this? And not really. This was the open of the hourly, and there was no bottom weight open, and just ripped right into resistance. So there's no longs. Nice. So showing some, wow, that's pretty cool. Oh yeah, I use that in Australia as well, Ian. Steak, yeah, I've used that as well, man. I don't use it anymore, but I use that in Australia. It's actually really easy to use as well. It's a really good app. That's really cool. But yeah, I use Trading 212 and Interactive Brokers for the stocks. I use both. I have money across a few different brokers with the stock side. Let's see. Anything else you guys are looking at? Feel free to send it over. Let's have a look at NQ. NQ still trying to get to the highs. Look at that. Basically getting there. Any sellers on NQ getting squeezed out. Lovely. Again, unfortunately, it was a nicer push than gold today. Look at that. It's a lovely push. Lovely push on NQ today. Do you use the same strategy with both NQ and GC? Yes, absolutely, man. Same plan. Same strategy. You know, the whole reason for this NQ long was based off this. You kind of see this left shoulder, head, right shoulder. Liquidity levels, which is the most important part, knowing where to trade gold into. And you had this hourly fake out play, which gold absolutely loves. So yeah, exactly the same play. If this was gold, we would be buying this all day. The reason I didn't buy this on NQ is because I just don't trade NQ enough to want to execute here. But that is exactly the same thing. And it was also a nice 4-hour morning star as well. Look at that, beautiful 4-hour morning star, absolutely perfect. So yeah, exactly the same plan. They will move a little bit different in terms of intraday characteristics, but overall plan, yeah, exactly the same. Exactly the same. Let's see, Sean, let's have a look, man. Yes, I like that short. Yeah, exactly. You're selling from the highs with downside targets. Yeah, I would have loved to have taken that short. It is a bit aggressive, but you can also manage risk pretty easy. Or you could, you know, maybe once this 15 tanked highs and breaks out short even here. Because you had such nice downside targets. That's the reason I'd want to be selling this. What time frame are you on there? Is that the 30 minute? 30 minute. Oh yeah, no more 15 for you. Yeah, it is a little bit aggressive, but it's also not because you know where you're trading into. Like that would have been a really nice short in Asia. I mean, even here, like maybe as it starts breaking the lows, you know, you get in with the momentum. You know, you just put a quick stop above that high. Like that would have been a nice trade. Took it on the combine. Nice. You took the short in Asia. You took the short in Asia on the combine. Yeah, nice. Nice. Owly fake out. Oh, nice. Let me see. Yeah, nice. Yeah, owly fake out. Yeah, beautiful. Beautiful. Owly fake out. Risk off any break back above there. Easy trade. Lovely trade. Combine's probably smart because you did come right down into support. So maybe not a fun to trade, but Combine I think is a good trade. 2 micros, nice. Nice. Yeah, it was a decent short. Asia did have a nice sell, especially because we spoke about Asia downside in our Asia market call as well. We weren't looking for longs, so easy bias. Follow the plan. What do you think about scalping? I've been doing pretty well with it so far. I mean, it's whatever suits your personality, to be honest. There's no right or wrong way to trade. Me personally, I'm not a huge fan of scalping. I don't really scalp. If we're referring to scalping as like, you know, 1 minute time frame. When I would try and scalp, I just felt like I wasn't really trading a plan. I was more so just trying to jump in every single market move. So I just stopped it completely. And again, that's not to say that that's how it works or that's how you should do it, of course, but it was just for me and my personality. If I watch the 1 minute, I feel like the strategy just goes out the window and I end up just chasing like every single up and down tick of the markets, which never really ends well. Like I want to be trading an actual plan. And for me, my kind of plan is more so built around, you know, the 15, 30 minute hourly candle closures on gold. But if you're doing well with scalping, that's fantastic. You know, like I say, there's a million different ways to trade. So just because that's not great for me doesn't mean it can't be good for you. If it's good for you, that's fantastic. So the good thing about trading is there's a million different ways to trade. And there's no right or wrong way either. But just make sure if you are scalping, make sure you're actually following a trading plan, not just trying to take every single up and down move and every single breakout of the markets. Because sometimes, you know, if the high time frames do chop, you can also get chopped up a lot. Platinum, yeah, let's have a look. We got this 30-minute close on gold in 5 minutes, which we're going to wait for, guys. So let's have a look at platinum. Sorry, Marvin, I missed platinum. Let's have a look. So do a bit of top down. I haven't looked at platinum in a while. So bit of top down here on platinum. We have some nice highs here. We have a pretty decent daily range. You can see you've got platinum trapped in here for the past 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days. So there's no daily analysis here on platinum. The platinum is just ranging, massive range. Now 4-hour time frame. Again, this is the same as gold. Remember, we do have FOMC on Wednesday as well. 4-hour time frame here on platinum. You have again some nice liquidity highs up here. You do also have some nice liquidity lows down here. So again, here's the highs of the range. Here's the lows of the range. Right now, you're right in the middle. Well, if we want to risk our hard-earned money on a trade, we want to be trading at good areas. We want to be trading at the highs or the lows. Well, right now, you're right in the middle of a pretty aggressive range. Like here, this is a pretty messy range. So I know it's probably not what maybe you platinum traders want to hear, but it's the reality of the markets right now, that it is just in one big aggressive range. And you know, like I always say to you guys, you know, these are the times where everyone makes money. You know, we all make money here. Everyone's a genius here. We all make money here. But these are the times where everyone gives back all their gains because they can't bear to not be in a position 24/7. And that's why I say to you guys, these are the times where you just have to accept that, you know, look, We're ranging. Regardless of what I want to happen or what I think is going to happen, in these ranges, the markets couldn't care less about what we think. Therefore, we just have to accept that, look at this hourly time frame price action. Do you want to trade price action like this and like this and like this? Or do you want to trade nice price action like this? Well, I want to trade nice price action like this. So the biggest part of trading is knowing when to trade and when not to trade. And this, to me, on Platinum, with the way that daily time frame is looking, I know we're not swing trading, but it's still very important for day trading. If I see a daily on an instrument looking like this, I go cool. Walk away for a long time, especially look at the 4 hour. Unless you're scalping, buying support and selling resistance, fine. But you've already kind of pushed from there. You've already pushed off the support, so I wouldn't want to be trading here, because if you get stuck in a trade here, it's pretty 50-50. And one of the worst things you can also do is drop down even lower. It might look nice in here, but look at what it can do. It can do this, and it can also do it. Look at this price action. It's absolutely insane. So Platinum right now, the best thing you can do here on Platinum is do nothing. And that's my honest opinion. I don't trade Platinum. I have no emotional attachment to Platinum. I couldn't care if Platinum goes up or down. My completely neutral perspective here on Platinum would be to do absolutely nothing. And the thing is, you can kind of say to yourself, well, we have some nice intraday support here. If we close below this support with volume, great. You have some nice shorts. And you can also say to yourself, if we break above this big resistance with good volume, you get great. You got longs up into here. And anything in between here, unfortunately, is just complete noise. So I'd be very careful trading Platinum personally. And that's just for the way that I trade. Could you scalp within that range? Yes, maybe. But again, we want quality over quantity. Same as gold. Could I have sat here on gold and maybe looked for some 5-minute trades within here? Yes, probably. But is that what's going to get me consistent? No. I might get lucky in here and I might catch a couple of ticks, but mentally it's very draining and I don't want to be in positions like that. Remember, we still may have some gold shorts coming on here on gold, guys. Gold short since that hourly close, because I imagine it's probably going to close pretty doji. So I'm trading into that anticipation. The 15 closes like this, I may take a short here on gold. Remember, your hourly resistance, you have no bottom wick, you're above previous hourly highs. It would be a small risk scalp. See, it's saying 40 ticks. The ranges are pretty small here. Can you explain more about the difference of the characteristics between NQ and GC? Yeah, we can have a look. I can definitely show you. I mean, NQ can have much bigger whips or price action. Like at the New York Open, you could see NQ rip 100 points up and then completely rip down 200 points and then rip all the way back up another 100 points. Whereas gold just doesn't really do that. Gold's much more... Gold takes a little bit more time. Gold does require more patience. Once you take a payout, can your account not go below zero? Or is it still... no, once you take a payout, your balance will be trailing. And it will stay at the account. Like right now, so my minimum loss limit here is what I have in profit, which is about 5.8 thousand. So if my balance goes back to 100k, then I would lose the account. This is a really good question here. I don't know your actual name, but Bumbo just asked this in the YouTube chat. This is a extremely important point. Is how do you manage the urge to chase big profits? I've had 11k days, so limiting myself to $500 feels frustrating, even if it's still solid money. I can make a lot, but I can also lose a lot. This is a really, really good point. I'll probably do a video on this at some point, but the thing is, let me just see this London Open here, guys. I may see a potential... I'm going to take maybe a sell stop here on gold. This is a good point because, you have to understand what made that 11k day. Was it over risking, or was it just because the markets, if we break these highs, I'll just cancel. But was it, I get the big days, I have like sometimes 4k days. I had like a 5k day and a 4k day last month within the space of like a week. But that came because the markets just ended up having a big move, and I so happened to be in the markets at that time. But that doesn't mean, just because we have 5 or 10k days that we're consistently profitable. We could, again, I'm not saying this is the case for you, but I'm just saying from a neutral perspective, we could go to the casino right now and we could put a load of money on a complete gamble and make 10, 20, 30k. Now, does that mean we're going to be able to go in there and do that consistently? Of course not. So we want to be more so focusing on getting the consistent gains over the 10, 20K days. You know, them days are great. They'll come, but we should never be aiming for them. Yeah, what was the stats behind that? I don't have it up right now, but there's some crazy stats that, you know, if you want to make like a 100K a year in trading, which is a great salary, the average that you have to make a day is very, very, very minimal. And that's also why trading becomes so hard, because, you know, we can sit here and we can make $500 and be like, oh, it's only $500, let me keep trading. But when you actually think about, we've just made $500 US from looking at some candlesticks on the screens, like that is so powerful. So I think if you want to get to, you know, the 10K days, I would get there by having access to more capital as opposed to trying to do it on a single individual trade. You know, you'll get the days where you might be involved in the market move and it ends up having a huge push and you go, wow, that was a great day. But they're not the days that you're going to get consistently. So don't even focus on trying to get them consistently, because it's not what is going to give you consistent returns. It's also not really necessary. We may come up and grab previous 30 highs. I'm going to cancel that for now, guys. You know, if you want to make 10K a day, you know, start to add more accounts. Don't try and do it on the one account. You know, like I say, you want to be focusing on consistency over the profits. Just because we can, you know, make a decent amount of money doesn't necessarily mean that we're consistent, which sometimes is a bitter pill to swallow, but it's the reality. Just because we, you know, like I say, you can go to the casino and do it and make money doesn't mean we're going to consistently make money. We need to focus on consistency. And $500, I know it doesn't, that's why trading's so strange, because it doesn't feel like much, but when you put it into perspective, you make $500 a couple of times a week, you add more accounts, man, you're making great gains. There you go, 500. Yeah, so there you go, $500 a day on average is 126,000 a year. So it's pretty crazy, right? And that's just on one account. Yeah, exactly, Ian. Yeah, exactly. 190 AUD. Exactly. But yeah, that's why you just kind of have to detach from the money as much as possible. You know, you have to not trade to think about how much you could make. And, you know, don't get me wrong, it's great when we have the days where, you know, you make like 5,000 in a day, which I think if I can, let's see if I can show you guys. Which I did have last month, but it's nothing that I ever strive for. Can I show you guys? Let me see. Maybe it's over here. Yeah, 5K a day would be insane. It'd be absolutely insane. Gold. I'm not taking this 15 flip, guys. I want to see if maybe this 30 can re-grab the highs before we get short. Let me see. Where was it last month? Back in October. This is can I show it here? This is back in where have we gone? This is back in October. You know, I had a back-to-back, like I had a 4.3K day, and then the next week I had like a 4.83K day, and that was amazing. But again, I don't aim for that. That just happens because the markets just end up having a great move when I'm on the chart. This is what I aim for. I aim for the $500, $600 days, $300 days. Yeah, that's really what I want to be aiming for. And that's what's going to give me the consistent gains. Look at this, consistent gains. As opposed to trying to chase, you know, would you rather make 20K consistently over a couple of months? Or would you rather try and full margin and jackpot in one trade? Well, I would rather do it over a good couple of trades to prove myself that I can actually do this consistently. 500 is a lot in my country. Hey man, 500 a day in most countries, in pretty much any country, is a incredible amount of money. Yeah, nice. I've seen that one. That's amazing, man. I love that. Yeah, 4K days, 1 million a year. Incredible. Exactly. Consistency is the key. That's it, man. Consistency is the key. That's what we want to do in trading. We don't just want to make some money and then, you know, not be here the next year. We want to trade to be here next month, next year, you know, next 2, 3, 4, 5 years. But if we always try and chase that certain dollar amount, you know, we might get lucky, we might get that big payout, but you want to get consistent payouts. You want this to be a reliable career that you can actually do for the next 5, 10 plus years. That's why for me, when I started to take trading more serious, I never really cared about trying to make 10K. I was like, if I can make like 2,000 to 3,000 a month consistently, I was like, I'm very happy with that. I was never really too interested in trying to make thousands and thousands a day. I was like, I want to get consistent. I want to see consistent rewards from the markets. If gold closes above the high of day, we look for longs. More so if the hourly just breaks out like this, you could look for some longs. Maybe on a pullback to this level. Let me just draw this properly. Maybe on a pullback to that 42.11 level, you could look for longs. The only thing with longs is though, remember, look how long gold was in this range for in the Asian session. And if price breaks back into that, well, guess what? We could replicate exactly that. We could do this for a long time, which I wouldn't really want to be in a position like that. How do you decide to close a position? That's a good question. My positions are closed based off liquidity levels, which are kind of like reversal points. So for the shorts in Asia today, our liquidity level was here. So therefore that would be my exit of a trade. As soon as we hit that liquidity level, that's a potential reversal region. There's my trade out right there. So I'm not buying this current candle, guys, because there was no bottom wick. I also haven't sold it. So remember, guys, I'll be live on Fast Markets today as well. For you guys who are trading the New York session on YouTube, we'll be live on the Topstep New York session today as well. Goldie's just we're doing a whole heap here, isn't it? Not a bad push up, but like considering when we jumped onto where we are now, it's like we haven't really done that much. We jumped on somewhere around here, like from here to here. It's like gold's only moved like 50 ticks, which is, don't get me wrong, 50 ticks is not bad. yeah. Tom will be trading the New York session with us. Do I look for 3-bar reversals? Yes, that's what I call a morning and evening star play. It's one of the best plays on gold. You kind of see there was one here, but the reason I didn't take this one is because you're right into resistance. But yeah, the morning and evening star plays, which I believe is the exact same thing, is probably one of the best patterns on gold. It's what gave us a great trade last week here. We took this trade last week. A morning star play into a double top liquidity level was literally perfect. So this was the levels from last week. Here, look at this, beautiful. Great question. Actually, no. Maybe. Could be Corey. Yeah, morning evening stars can be very, very nice. Morning stars, 3-bar reversal. It's also the reason that we were talking about NQ longs today. Now I don't trade NQ, so I didn't take it. But it was the whole reason for looking for NQ longs here. It was a 4-hour morning star 3-bar reversal. Look at this. Reject, grab the lowest wick all the way back above. So you buy this one into these previous 4-hour highs. And you also line that up with a nice hourly fake out. So you have a nice hourly fake out, 4-hour 3-bar reversal, morning star. Nice move. Nice move. Came up, hit that first liquidity level and selling off there. So you may have just taken a break even on that NQ trade anyway. If you secured something fantastic, realistically I probably would have taken break even. What does no bottom wick mean? Good question. No bottom wick is just, you can see here in this current hourly candle, there's no wick to the downside here. So no wick to the downside means when this candle is looking bullish, if there's no bottom wick, it means that wick can be created at any point. So if you try and chase these longs, before you know it, you could come all the way right back down. And it's usually a good sign because you look at all these hourly candle closures. You know, after the rare occasion in a range, you do get some with no bottom wick, but you could say with very high confidence, 90% of candles have top and bottom wicks. You got bottom wick, top wick, bottom wick, top wick. So the likelihood of this candle creating a bottom wick is very likely. So when this candle opens in the initial hour and pushes up, with no bottom wick, I'm looking to short down into price needing to create that bottom wick. It could close a no bottom wick. That's not to say you can't close no bottom wick. It's looking like it actually might. But for the most part, if I see like a 4-hour candle, like we've seen this loads of times on stream, if I see a 4-hour candle open and just push up with no bottom wick, and then on the lower time frames, I'm looking to short into price needing to come down to create that bottom wick. Because the likelihood of these high time frame candles having these top and bottom wicks is very, very, very high. And sometimes if you see no bottom wick, you know, you might get the urge to want to chase the trade, but there's no bottom wick. Well, you don't want to buy up here because that could be created, so that risk is pretty high. Current hourly setup, why isn't this a morning star with upward liquidity setup? Well, because if you ignore the current candle, this could have also been an evening star. You grabbed previous hourly highs and closed doji. If you ignore how this current candle is looking right now, because it's easy to look back in hindsight and go, oh, you know, that was a beautiful morning star play here. Well, look how the previous candle closed. You wicked out the highs and held resistance. So you grabbed lows, held support, grabbed highs, held resistance. So at that point, this current candle was pretty 50-50. But not only that, is you were also buying right into resistance with no bottom wick on this hourly. So that's the reason I'm not in longs here. Like this does look like a nice morning star play here, like this. But as soon as you see this candle wicking the highs and holding resistance, yeah, I wouldn't be holding that trade anyway. You'd be more so wanting to see this hourly break above and then try and take the longs instead. Wait for the move to be much more confirmed than that. But it was pretty until the open of until this pushed up, it was very 50-50 at that point. And there is no liquidity targets. The liquidity's been taken. Liquidity's been taken here. And you also this is an area where I'd want to trade. Because look at the price action here. Messy price action here with huge FOMC tomorrow. I really don't want to see gold close back into this range. If we break out, then great. You know, maybe you can see longs all the way back up into that. That should be 42.50. So YouTube guys, I will wrap up there, guys, because we're jumping on fast markets today as well. So I'm probably going to stay flat until the New York session, guys. If you guys are around for the New York session, I'll be live on TopstepTV for the New York stream. And we'll see if we get some New York trades instead. I think I'm pretty much going to lock the accounts out until that New York session and keep it ready for when we jump back on stream again. So I will keep it short and sweet here, guys. If you are around, like I say, I will see you live on the New York session where we'll look to trade gold at New York Open and see if we get some trades. But right now, I'm going to stay flat here for London, protect the capital, and then we'll look to take some trades at the New York Open. So I will see you guys there. If not, I'll see you guys same time again tomorrow. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Cheers, guys.